Hi and welcome to my channel. As you might have noticed from the thumbnail and probably the title, this is going to be a little bit different video than I normally film because we had a really big surprise in our family, like really big. Like I still am trying to cope with it and understand it and everything. So I'm going to tell you about this big surprise today in this video because it does affect us in a homeschool type of way as well. But normally I do homeschool content and I post curriculum and organizational ideas. So I would love to have you, so please subscribe if I can talk, if you're interested in those things. And let's get into this surprise. Okay, so I have some notes written down here. So hopefully I can remember stuff. So I'll be referencing this throughout the video so that I make sure I don't miss anything. And if you have questions for me, put them down in the comments and I can answer those in future videos as we all go through this experience together. So if you haven't figured out yet, I am pregnant. I am 13 weeks pregnant today. And when this video comes out, I'll be closer to 14 weeks pregnant. But it was a massive surprise. Like very big. And very shocking. And it was the day before Mother's Day when I found out. And so that was a rough Mother's Day. I spent most of the day crying and it was a really hard time. And my emotions have been all over the place since then. I just don't really quite know what to think yet. And I'm still having a hard time coping with it and coping with what it means. If you don't know, I have 4 kids. They were born in 5 years, and my youngest, it will be 5 when this baby comes, she'll be almost 5. My due date is January 12th. So she will be almost 5 by the time this baby is born. And for me, that is a huge gap. We don't have any baby stuff. I wasn't planning on having babies. If you have recently seen my getting to know me video, it came out a few months ago, and actually at the time I posted it I would have been pregnant. I wasn't when I filmed it, but I was when I posted it. And I talked about how I felt like our family was complete, but we'd be happily accepting a new baby, which I'm like, I don't know happily yet. We're working on it. We're getting there. We're really trying here. My husband's really excited. Our kids are excited. They found out recently, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's just been a really big surprise. Okay, so I wanted to talk about how I'm feeling. It's the next thing on my list. So we're gonna make sure we try to stick to the list, or I might forget something, or we might be here for an hour as I just ramble on and on and on. So I have been pretty nauseous, which is very typical of my pregnancies. I don't really throw up or anything. I'm just really nauseous, and I hate the taste in my mouth all the time. So this time I've actually been chewing a lot of mint gum, which I stopped liking gum when I got pregnant with my first. I was like a gum addict. And when I got pregnant with him, it made me so sick to chew gum. So I just hardly ever chew gum. And this time it's just little pieces, just enough to kind of take the flavor out of my mouth of just that, I don't know, it's always that aftertaste in your mouth, if you know what I mean. That's what it always is like, and it's not fun. It drives me crazy and stuff. And so I've been pretty nauseous, and I don't enjoy feeling sick all day long. I'm one that likes to just feel good and get things done. And so feeling nauseous all the time is not super fun. I have been extremely tired with this pregnancy. My mom says it's because I'm getting old, which is true that I am getting older, but I have just been so tired. I am not a person that normally naps, but every single afternoon almost, I have taken a nap and I just conk out. And then if I don't have a day I don't take a nap and we go and try to do something, me fight through my sickness so we can actually pretend to have a fun summer, I crashed. We were gone for 2 days visiting family. I came back and I just slept and slept. So that has been new to me because I don't take naps normally. And in my previous pregnancies, I would take some naps, but nothing right now. It's crazy to me how tired I have been. And it's starting to get a little bit better. Just the nausea is starting to get a little bit better. Before, even just talking was really hard. It would make me so sick. And so even filming the few videos that I did film, which is why I haven't been posting as much, it was really hard for me to film them because I was just constantly nauseous, and the more I would talk, the more sick that it made me. Luckily, I've been able, like moving around and cleaning up doesn't bother me as much. I still feel nauseous, but it's more talking. When I talk, that's when it makes me feel the most sick. But it is getting a little bit better. So hopefully it gets better soon with my boys. I felt better pretty much after 12 weeks to 13 weeks. With my girls, it was closer to 20. And so we'll see what happens, because I don't really know yet. And we don't know what we're having yet. So I don't know how sick I'm gonna be for how long. And then I'm still working out. I attribute that to training myself over the last 3 years to work out in the morning. I never could work out in the morning. Growing up, my stomach is not super happy in the morning most of the time. And so it was really hard for me to get up and work out in the morning. And I was an athlete in school, and it was just very, very difficult whenever we had early morning stuff for me to be able to do it. And so the last several years, I have trained myself to work out in the morning, like early morning, so that, because that's when I wanted to work out. I didn't want to leave it till the end of the day. And so since I've learned how to do that, I was able to work through a lot of my sickness. There was mornings where for sure, no, it was not happening and I didn't feel well. I would walk on the treadmill for like a few minutes and be like, okay, I'm done for the day. But then other days I could just lift really hard and felt okay during the workout, and then started to feel sick again. But I feel best in the morning. And then once the afternoon hits, I'm just like dead. Then I die for a while. Like lately I've been able around dinner time to kind of have more energy, but before it was like I was just dead the rest of the day. And then emotionally, I've been all over the place. Honestly, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Monk, but that clip where he goes through the stages of grief and he goes through them very, very quickly, and Natalie and the doctor, I can't remember his name at the moment, but they're watching him and they're like, oh, I have never seen anybody go through him this fast, as he just like goes up and down through all the stages. And so that's kind of how I felt. I feel like I'm just on this line and haven't yet gotten over like, oh, maybe I'm excited about this. And some days I go down, but most of the time it's just kind of this like, ugh. And lately I feel like more of a denial type stage, as far as, even though I've seen the baby, I've had my first doctor's appointment, I saw the baby on the ultrasound, I'm still like, in my head, I just can't make sense of it. It doesn't make sense to me. I moved out of that stage. I was done with that stage. And so it's weird to me that there's a baby inside of me. Like my brain just can't like wrap its head around it. That sounded really weird. Anyways, so it's been a little bit of a struggle for me. It's been hard. I'm just living in the emotions right now, trying to get to a point where I am excited about it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a struggle. And I feel like there's some people watching this that are gonna be like, why would she ever like not be excited for a baby? Like, especially those that struggle with infertility, why can't she be excited about it? And I feel like, we all have our challenges, and I just want you to remember that. And for me, being a mom has been so, so hard. It didn't come naturally to me. It still doesn't. It's something I have to work hard at every single day. And this was definitely not something I wanted. And so everyone just has their own struggles. For some people that might be infertility, and for some people that might be having a baby and having more kids, or having a surprise baby. And so just to remember, everyone has their own struggles, and everyone is struggling. There is never a moment when someone doesn't have something going on that's hard for them. And so we just need to be kind and to remember that everyone has their own things that are hard for them, and it might not be hard for you, but it is hard for them. So now that we've gone through that whole spiel, and I'm trying not to like cry over here, my kids' reaction, it was kind of what I expected, I guess. But still just really funny. We just recently told them, because I didn't go to the doctor until I was 12 weeks because they didn't have any openings. Normally it was like 10 weeks where I live, but they didn't have anything open until 12 weeks. So I just barely went. and have been going through all my blood work and genetic testing and all that stuff. So we will know gender pretty soon, which I'm excited about. I'm one that like, I want to know what's going on. And especially with this baby, I just am like, I deserve to know. And so after I went to the doctor is when we told them, and we didn't want them to know until I was a little bit more comfortable with other people knowing. Like our families already knew, and one of my really good friends already knew, but nobody else really knew. And that's kind of normal for us with all of our other kids. That's basically what we did. But this one's been even harder because people coming up and talking to me about it, I just don't know if I can handle that right now. And so it wasn't something I wanted to share with other people because it was just going to be too hard for me to even talk to people about it and stuff. So I didn't want them to know until we were ready for everyone else to know, because they're kids and they tell everybody everything because they're excited. And before, when I had my last child, they were all still really young. So they didn't really understand what was going on. They wouldn't have told anybody even if they knew. So it wasn't a big deal. So this was our first like experience with having kids old enough to kind of understand what was going on. And as my husband was doing scripture study, which I'm gonna cut to the clip of their reaction in just a minute so you can see it. And so we were doing scripture study, and then he incorporated it into the scripture study and told them. So I'll cut to that so you can see their reaction, and I'll come back here and give you a few more thoughts about their reaction.
At the time of Joseph Smith, there were a lot of people who had questions about when you were supposed to baptize kids. When are you supposed to get baptized?
When you're 8.
When you're 8. But they didn't know that for sure back then. Some people thought you were supposed to baptize them right after they were born, when they were still babies. You're not 8 yet. Lana just turned 8. Okay? So they prayed about it, and the Lord said, "But little children are holy, being sanctified through the atonement of Jesus Christ." So Jesus Christ takes care of little babies. And that's why we wanted to let you guys know about something that's happening in our family. Do you know what these are?
Our x-rays.
Not your x-rays.
Baby picture.
They're baby pictures.
These.
We are going to have another baby.
I saw.
Yeah. That's why Mom was at the doctor yesterday. This is the little baby inside Mom's belly right now. You can see the head right there, and you can see the little legs.
So are we going to have a 5th?
We're going to have a 5th kid.
Yay! Is it going to be a boy or a girl?
We don't know yet.
At least they're going to have 7 kids.
What do you want it to be, Alana?
7 people in the family.
A girl?
You want 7 kids or what?
We are going to have 7 people in the family.
7 people in the family, huh?
Yeah, it has been.
Can you see, Liddy? There's the head of the baby. You're going to have a baby. Not you, baby, but you'll have either a baby brother or a baby sister.
I have a brother. And I wanted to sleep with me.
Yeah.
We need We need more bedrooms. I want to sleep with me. You only have 2 people.
You want what?
What do you want, Lid?
I want to be a girl.
You want to be a girl?
And I wanted to be Bobby to sleep with me. I'm sleep with me.
You're really good with babies.
Yeah. How long until it's coming out?
It comes out January, probably around the 12th. We're not quite sure. It's not exactly, but coming to a house near you.
My tummy's big.
Is
What's
my
that?
tummy big yet?
That's why your tummy's big. So January.
My tummy's big?
The 7th month.
Okay, so as you can see, their reaction was kind of just like, what? Like they just kind of stared for a while, and then they started asking lots of questions, and that was pretty funny as they were like trying to process everything. And I just stole my husband's journal. I had forgotten to get it. Luckily, he had just started a meeting, so it was okay. But he wrote down a whole bunch of like the funniest sayings from that day, just because the whole rest of the day was all about, well, with the baby, let's do this, or with the baby, let's do this. And it was just really funny. So my 4-year-old comes up into my bedroom, and I'm in the shower, and she's so excited. She's like, we have to get the baby a stocking. And she was like, we have to for it. She was so concerned that it couldn't wait. She had to tell me that it needed a Christmas stocking. And then she was wondering how I get the baby out. She's like, so do you just poop the baby out? So that was funny. So we've been talking a lot about that and how the babies come out. And then she's like, it was mostly, my 4-year-old was mostly the one with all these things. She's like, we need a car seat. We need what else did she say? A chair and a cradle. I love how she called it a cradle. That was so funny. And then I stood up to go do something and she grabbed my water bottle and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna carry this just in case the baby gets thirsty and then you can have some water. And they've been really concerned about how the baby eats. Like, oh, when you eat, does the baby eat or does it sleep? What is it doing like there? So it's just really, really funny. And then my 4-year-old, again, she's like, oh, that's why your belly's so big. That's why your belly's getting so big. And my belly isn't that big. I'll try to insert a clip of 12 weeks. We took a little bit of footage and you can hardly probably tell, whereas I have a friend that when she's just a few weeks, it's like she's huge. Those are her words, not mine. So anyways, we're really good friends, so it's okay. Anyways, and so it was just super funny. And then let's see what else. I can't even read his handwriting. Oh my gosh, guys, let's see. I won't let the baby have, I don't know what that, oh, I know what it says. My 4-year-old has Togepi, which is a Pokemon, like a little stuffed animal one. And it's just small, it looks like a little egg. And she's like, I won't let the baby have Togepi because the baby will slobber on it. So that was really funny. And then this one, they're all figuring out names for the baby and they're like, okay, well we can do, my 8-year-old girl was like, we could do Aphrodite if it's a girl, and then what did she say? Hercules if it's a boy. And my 4-year-old girl was like, I don't want 2 gods in the house. And it was just so funny. Anyways, there's just been some really funny things that have been going on now that they know. And after that first couple of days, it wore off a little bit, which was nice because I was like, oh my gosh, is this how my life is gonna be for the next 6 months or whatever? It's just them constantly peppering me with questions. And they're like, if it's a boy, it'll sleep in this room. If it's a girl, it'll sleep in this room. So they'll have everything figured out for me. I won't even have to do anything. So it's been fun and also a little bit crazy, but it's also nice to know we can talk to family members and we can talk about the baby in front of the kids without being like, oh, we can't talk about this, like they don't know yet. So that's been kind of nice. Anyways, so that's kind of where we're at. I don't know if I covered everything. I don't know if I covered all the questions that you would have, but we're just chugging along and going through this. I go to my next appointment at 16 weeks, so I'll probably do an update at that point. Probably won't be too much, maybe just how I'm feeling and all that kind of stuff. And we'll probably do a gender reveal at some point. That's not really my thing, but I think for the kids this time around, since they're older and stuff, it would be more fun for them. So we'll probably do that. And yeah, that's just kind of where we are. I just wanted to tell you what was going on, why I've kind of been MIA all over the place. I haven't been feeling good emotionally and physically. And so I just wanted to give you an update because you all are so wonderful and you support me and you're my friends. And so if you do have any questions for me, anything you'd like me to address in the next video in like 4 weeks, please put them down in the comments. And if I feel comfortable talking about them, I will. And I think that's all. I'd still love for you to subscribe. Again, I can't say that word today. Give me a thumbs up and I will see you next time.